Okay, so let's get right into this. There's a massive construction project happening in the heart of Europe, and it's kicking up some serious dust, raising huge questions about foreign influence, politics, and really the future of the continent itself.
At the center of it all is the Grand Eyyub Sultan Mosque. Once it's finished, it's set to be the largest mosque in all of Europe. But the debate around it is intense. Is this simply a much-needed place of worship for a local community? Or, as some European leaders are arguing, is it something else entirely, a kind of political weapon? And you know, the location here is everything. We're talking about Strasbourg, France. This isn't just any city, it's a hugely symbolic capital of the European Union. And get this, the mosque is going up just 6 kilometers away from the European Parliament. So its presence, politically speaking, is pretty much impossible to ignore.
Right, so to really get what this whole controversy is about, you have to ask the big question. Who is actually funding and building this massive structure? Let's, follow the money and see what movement is behind it.
The main group backing this project is called Milli Gorus. And this isn't some small local community association. No, this is a really powerful pan-European organization with deep, deep roots in Turkish politics. It was actually founded by a former Turkish prime minister. Now, for their part, Milli Gorus says its main goal is just to serve the religious and social needs of the Turkish community living across Europe. But alarm bells really started going off after a French intelligence report was published. And as you can see here, the report highlighted a couple of key things. It noted that Milli Gorus was inspired by the Muslim Brotherhood and, maybe more importantly, it described the group's leader as being close to Turkish President Erdogan, apparently meeting with him several times a year. And that connection is right at the heart of all the political concern.
And the money involved? It's huge. We're talking over 32 million euros just from Milli Gorus and its supporters. But beyond that, you've got significant funding coming from nations like Qatar, and support has also come from Morocco, Kuwait, and Saudi Arabia. So yeah, this is a project with some serious international financial backing.
So you take the location, the organization, and all that funding, and you put it together, well, it's triggered a major political alarm. Some members of the European Parliament are framing this as nothing less than a battle of civilization.
An Italian EU parliamentarian, Isabella Tovaglieri, actually went to visit the construction site, and afterward she gave this pretty stark warning. She argued that the mosque's purpose goes way beyond religion, framing it as a deliberate political project designed to push a specific version of Islam in Europe.
And to back this up, she wasn't just speaking in hypotheticals. She pointed to specific, concrete details. For instance, she noted that the construction trucks being used on the site had Turkish license plates. For her, this was visible proof that the project was directly linked to Erdogan's Turkey and that the whole site was operating, as she put it, totally out of the state's control.
And she was not alone in this. Her colleague, Sylvia Sardone, used even stronger language. She called it a Eurabian nightmare and warned that what she calls political Islam, backed by Turkey, was making some dangerous inroads in a key European city.
So this huge international debate didn't just stay in the halls of the European Parliament. Oh no, it spilled over and became a really intense political fight right there in the city of Strasbourg itself. The whole thing really came to a head over local funding. Okay, so this is where a really unique piece of French history comes into play. Most of France has this super strict 1905 law separating church and state, but this particular region, Alsace-Moselle, has a special legal status that actually allows public money for religious buildings. So, using that loophole, the city council approved a €2.5 million grant back in 2021, but after a ton of backlash, a court stepped in and overturned it, basically saying the city's Muslim community already had a grand mosque.
And look, what's happening in Strasbourg isn't taking place in a vacuum. It's actually part of a much bigger trend you can see across the continent, a growing pushback from several European countries that are worried about this kind of foreign influence.
So for example, you've got Austria, which has already passed a law banning foreign funding for mosques. Then in Germany, intelligence services have put out warnings specifically about Milli Gorus and its efforts to influence young people. And in the Netherlands, a government report straight up accused the group of promoting an intolerant ideology. So the concern is definitely continent-wide.
Which brings us right back to the core argument from critics like Isabella Tovaglieri. For them, this isn't about integration or multiculturalism. They see it as a direct challenge, a battle of civilization that they genuinely believe Europe is in danger of losing.
So at the end of the day, we're left with this huge, fundamental question. When the doors of the Grand Eyyub Sultan Mosque finally open, what is it really going to represent?
a community's beloved place of worship, or a powerful symbol of a political and cultural shift happening right in the heart of Europe.